spread one love, okay? Thanks for tuning in to us, the MNM Show.
MNM Show.
Wait, whose phone is that? Is that yours, Nick?
Is that me?
Yeah. So we're live now? All right. What's up, everybody? Oh, wait. We didn't even talk about who's going to be Nikki in her absence.
Oh.
We can't replace Nikki. That's not a thing.
No, we cannot. We cannot replace Nikki, man. I'm just an M, and you're an M, and we're missing our N, man.
Your M&Ms.
Yeah, man.
We're just...
How was your week, Molly?
My week was pretty good. My week is interesting. As you know, you guys probably don't know this, but Jay Mills and Nikki Lewis and I are all running on this slate for local politics for the Democratic Committee. And so
Awesome.
that's a thing now. So
Yeah.
What's that like?
I spent about 3 hours like scrubbing my Facebook page of any like fuck the police posts that I've made over the last 10 years. So I feel like that was a good start, you know?
It'll take a while.
Yeah. I was like ACAB, like I had to type them all in.
Do you just get lost in nostalgia doing that?
I did. I was like, oh, look at all those innocent people that were killed. What a fantastic couple years. But, you know, it definitely does like reaffirm your interest in wanting to be in politics, like seeing all that stuff, you know? I mean, it's exciting to just be a part of something and learn and you know, I think after Trump, it's like, you know, fuck that, man. Like you know, you got to get involved locally. You got to start someplace. So, you know,
for sure.
Here I am. How about you, Jay? How was your week?
It was pretty good. It seems like it wasn't that long ago that I was here. It kind of flew by.
It was a fast week.
Out of nowhere, man. Today's Black Love Day. February 13th.
Word.
Every February 13th is Black Love Day. Shout out to my man Kimon Freeman, creator of the Black Love Festival. I didn't even really think about that when I picked out this shirt, but I was happy.
Nice.
That I was like in the zone, you know. So
that's awesome. I didn't realize. I think I saw something about that this morning. Is that something Kimon started, or is it just like it's a national thing? And we just really like it here.
I know it's been going on for a long time. It's something I've been celebrating for over a decade or so.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
I never did Google the start. I just, you know. Yep. Fuck
really...
Valentine's Day, for real.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Fuck Valentine's Day. For one. That give me another holiday, and I'm happy about that. So
yeah.
Didn't really ask too many questions. It's like, fuck the 14th. I got plans for the 13th.
You know, living it up.
Yep.
How do you celebrate the 13th?
Typically they have like, the Black Love Festival. Actually, no, that was in September.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just showing love, extra love, and that was definitely something I did today. Not knowing that was what it was, but then afterwards it was certainly intentional. So yeah.
That's cool. I like any holidays celebrating love, except for Valentine's Day because it's mad commercial. But, you know, love each other.
I love tacos.
Hey, and it's Tuesday, so look at that.
Yes, another reason to celebrate today.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
also Taco Tuesday.
It is.
Yes.
It is. So we are sitting here tonight with Colleen and Hayden from 730 DC, Wake Up Washington, right?
Wake to Washington.
Oh, damn it. I knew I was going to mess that up.
Close.
How about you guys? How was your week? What's good? What's new in the 730 world?
Let's see. Well, it's Tuesday, so hasn't been a long week yet.
No.
Pretty good.
No, pretty good. But this is the second podcast of the week for
That's right.
Colleen.
Whoa.
Yeah. So she's a pro.
You're on the like podcast.
I don't know if two makes you a
circuit.
pro.
It's the podcast circuit, man.
2 points make a line.
Wait, who's my? That's true. Who else you been podcasting with? I feel a little jealous
A
now.
little jealousy.
A little bit weird.
I didn't know we were exclusive.
Should have had this conversation before Valentine's Day.
I'm in a relationship. We on Sunday we got together with Philippa Hughes
Nice.
and the Pink Line Project, and
Nice.
Karen and Philippa have a podcast called Women of Uncertain Age. It's about topically love and relationships, and more broadly like friendship and independence and growing up. So we did a live recording with some folks in the audience from Pink Line Project and from 730 DC. Answered some
Nice.
audience questions, probably asked more questions than we answered. It was a good time.
Right on.
Yeah.
I saw a post about that online, actually. I think on Philippa's Instagram or something like that.
Cool, yeah.
That's super cool. I like
Episode
the
comes out tomorrow. Check it out.
Nice. Oh, so at least we beat her. We got it. We're going out tonight. Hey,
Yep.
what's that? You see me,
Nailed it.
Philippa? You see me? I'm just kidding. She's super dope. I like Philippa a lot. I don't know her super well personally, but she's always been, you know.
It's an accurate assessment, though.
Yeah. I like that podcast that she does and all her walks, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but you know, the random stuff you pick up on just like cruising around the internet. She
Yeah,
always
yeah.
puts off pretty good energy in her activities for sure. But so yeah, man. So we're excited to have you guys here today. I know I was actually referred to you guys by Pooja, who owns Mellow Mushroom.
Nice.
She is the one who told me about you guys because she saw your post about asking who does podcasts.
Yeah.
And that's
There you
how I
go.
submitted my
Cool.
thing to you. And we got a lot of traction off that. So tell us
That's great.
Tell us about 730 DC. So, I know the brief summary is it's a daily blog that comes out telling everybody in DC. Does it come out at 7:30 in the morning?
7:30 in the
Hence
morning.
the name.
Jesus Christ,
We don't
man.
write it at
Yeah.
7:30.
Okay.
Disabuse you of
Yeah.
that
All
notion
right.
immediately. I haven't been up before 7:30 in like probably 5 years.
Since my last court date.
How'd you know? So we started about 4 years ago, coming up on 5 now. And I was working at Atlantic Media as a fellow with 2 of my friends, and we were really hyped up on, the idea. Let's start something. Let's do something in media. What's it going to be? Newsletters are hot right now. Okay, newsletter about what? About what? And it actually, like, somebody said, what if the name is the time that it's sent out? And immediately what it was going to be sort of like clicked into place, because we realized, send it first thing in the morning, so it's the first thing in people's inbox. And what do people want to know in the morning? They want to know what's going to be going on around them. And so it's basically all you need to know to be a sort of informed, engaged citizen of Washington, D.C. on a given day. That's the idea, anyways.
Right on. So what is I see you have like a lot of people on your staff, a lot of people writing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How many writers do you have total?
About 15, maybe.
Yeah, it's a
at this point?
good question. Probably, about 15 dozen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I should probably know.
We could count them.
There's people who are involved in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Is part of the issue. So there's about 4 or 5 people who work on a Spanish edition that comes out every week. And then there's a couple people who specifically work on events. They don't necessarily like write up the newsletters, but we've really been able to turn it into a community, which has I think really expanded what we can do and cover with authority in the newsletter.
Right
Yeah.
on. So you have a Spanish speaking edition. That's pretty awesome. How did you, was that something that like people asked for? Or was that something that you guys initiated? Like how did that all go down?
It was something that we were sort of like aware of the potential need for, or like how much good it could do. There's not a lot of media produced in Spanish for DC. There's El Tiempo, which is like the Post Spanish version, and then I think there's a like church produced daily as well. But other than that, it's pretty slim pickings. And so when Tomas and Rachel came to me about a year and a half ago with the idea to do a Spanish edition, we sort of hashed out like, who's it going to serve? Like, what's it going to be for? How is it going to add value in terms of like not just duplicating what's out there already? And so one of the things they do is that they translate news that has been published only in English into Spanish, so that it can be accessible to people who might not otherwise be able to hear about certain things.
Right on. That's
Yeah.
cool. So what's mostly talked about on 730? Like what is your you know.
It's all sorts of things, really.
Yeah.
The format of the newsletter is it's broken into two parts. So it's the to-knows and to-dos. So you've got the things that you need to know starting that day, and that can be a whole range of stuff from themes in local politics, what animal was just born at the zoo, issues coming up
Rusty
around
the red panda for life.
Rusty the red panda. Issues coming up around chronic things in any sort of urban environment like sustainable housing and homelessness. And then the to-dos are also super diverse in terms of whatever's going on for that day. And on Wednesdays, we send out a scheduler for the whole week ahead so you can plan your week. And like Hayden was saying, it really is a product of the writers who are working on it and what scenes they're clued into and what things we're interested in. So we want to make sure we hit all of the like most important stuff. And then there's definitely some discretion around like how do you contextualize it? How do you add that little piece of more information so you're not just reading the headline, you're actually understanding why it matters.
Right on. That's pretty awesome. I like the idea of like a local news source, and it's mostly sourced by people. Like, do you consider yourself like a cutting edge news source, or is it more just like topics for discussion?
I would say no. We're not a cutting edge news source because we're not breaking anything. We do produce our own essays and reviews and interviews and stuff. But for the most part, we're relying on the heavy hitters in the region. Whether it's mainly the Post, but also DCist, Rest in Peace, City Paper, all the other sort of big outlets to actually break stories. And then what our sort of value add is that we make it really easy for readers to stay tuned in, right? So instead of having to wade through, all the different publications covering local news, they can just subscribe to 730, get the news in a really digestible, easy format, and then sort of, if they're interested by a subject, they can read further. They click on a hyperlink. But sort of something I always mention is that the click-through rate is not actually a perfect indicator of whether we're doing our job, because I want you to just be able to scan it and have a sort of like basic level of literacy in terms of what are the civic issues going on in the city today. Well, and I mean, it's civic issues and it's like, is the red line shut down?
Yeah.
Right. So
Right.
It's what do you need to be able to get around that day?
Yeah,
And
I
that
think, like,
actually,
we talked about like our version of sort of like making things easily digestible versus other newsletters versions of that. And I think the thing that sets us apart is we don't assume that our readers don't care or that they don't have the intelligence to like understand the complexities of an issue.
Definitely.
And so we present that to them, like Hayden was saying, in case you want to dig deeper and learn more and get involved, we sort of show you the ways to do that.
Yeah. I would second that element of like not dumbing things down. We want to make it easy for people to engage if they want to, but we also want to challenge people to sort of like upset their assumptions about what the city is, who lives here, things like that. Yeah.
So do you all have any like networking engagements or events that you all put on to kind of bring your
Sort of.
constituency together?
Yeah. Do you want to
Yeah.
talk about local press club?
Yeah, for sure. So first thing I'll say is we've like thought of so many cool events that we could do, and then have come to the realization that we are much better newsletter writers than we are event planners.
Yeah.
Events are hard, man.
It's
Yeah.
hard. It's
Super
a
hard.
skill
Well, and
set. It takes a lot of work.
There's already like, I mean, to an extent, there's just already an incredible amount of cool stuff happening in
Yeah.
DC, and like that's our role, is to like show you, holy shit, like there's
so
something awesome happening every single night. Like I think there's been like a couple times when I have looked at our events list and just been like, wow, like people should just stay in tomorrow. But like overall, our mission basically is like, get your ass off the couch. Like, Game of Thrones is great, but I'm sure that there's something cooler than that happening right here in DC tonight.
Is
Yeah.
there a particular demographic that you kind of are favored in, or is it like family friendly, or you have things for the elderly, or
Yeah, it's a good question. It's young people, like predominantly. It was started really with like the demographic in mind of folks who are moving into the city, maybe out of college or like coming from a different city for an entry-level job. Young folks who are interested and passionate and engaged in like world news and events, but weren't necessarily clued into what was going on in the city, and to locate them here. And I think in our last survey of our readership, the average age is like 27, I want to say.
Oh, wow.
We've got over 14,000 readers now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's we want the newsletter to be anybody of any age can read it. In fact, people from like not even from DC read it. I had somebody email one time and they were like, "Hey, I live in Palm Springs, but I love your email." I was like, "Why are you reading?" It's like it's mostly like, ANC, like, 5D votes down like sidewalk measure. Like, why does this person in Palm Springs care? But I think it's the idea is for it to be interesting to anybody. But when we got it started, I think I had this idea that a lot of the people around me were sort of treating DC like this sort of like playground, right? Like a lot of people thought that they weren't going to stay, or like knew that they weren't going to stay, and felt like they didn't need to learn about anything more than the area, like they needed to know how to get from their house to their office, right? And they didn't need to think about anything that was beyond that little scope. And so I kind of wanted to challenge that and say, like, there's a value proposition here that I bet I can prove to you that DC is actually like a really awesome place, and it's going to be better. Like, the more you know about it, living here will be better.
Indeed. So now the scene is kind of cooling down or heating up, depending on how you want to look at it.
Yeah, the millennial numbers actually declined the other day.
I was
for the first
about
time
to bring up cannabis events.
Cannabis. Oh.
Overrun of those. Was that ever something that people ever asked for? Is that ever part of the city that you ever touched in terms of your event scope?
For sure. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, we definitely
I-71 events.
Right, of course.
We had we did
nothing for sale.
Ever. No.
Ever.
Totally legal.
I haven't seen Kushgat in a minute. We did a interview for 420 last year. I did a little panel kind of interview, or like roundtable interview, where I talked to a couple different people from the sort of like I-71 and marijuana scene around DC, and that was really eye-opening. Talked to what's his name, Adam. Talked to Gentleman Toker. I don't remember who else was on the list, but it's certainly become a huge part of DC's sort of like unique flair over the last couple of years. I mean, yeah. And this is coming from, like, I'm wearing my Oakland A's hat. I just realized I should probably lose that for tonight. But, California obviously has that heritage as well. And to see that sort of flower here has been pretty cool.
So is that where you're from? Is Oakland?
Yeah. Like Walnut Creek, over the hills, yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah, Walnut Creek. Right before you get to Vallejo. And
there
stuff.
We go, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 680.
Mm-hmm.
And how about you, Colleen? You're a native Washingtonian?
No, my actual DC native friends would never let me say that. I'm from Maryland.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right on. Yeah.
I'm from Montgomery County, so I grew up outside DC. But my parents were born in the area. Their grandparents moved into the area like around World War II. And so it's funny, as I've grown up and eventually moved into the city, my mom still has the like perceptions of certain neighborhoods from when she was, a student at Georgetown, or when my dad was at Catholic University. And so I like tell her I'm going to my friend's house in Brooklyn. She's like, get off the phone. Run, stay in big streets. I'm like, Mom, it's okay. And same with U Street. I remember in high school, hearing about U Street as the dangerous place to go, and now I live off U Street. So it's been so interesting, like, to see the city transform, and then I've now lived in DC for the past 3 years, and it's obviously a totally different experience being in the city from growing up outside of it. But I've always sort of had that feeling growing up of, DC is a super vibrant place, and yes, there's some emphasis on politics and lawyers, but mostly there's a lot going on. And it was odd to me when I would meet people here as, an adult moving in and not, or like, talking derogatorily about the city and saying like there wasn't anything here and they couldn't wait to get out and move to Denver. And
I've been to Denver. That blows my mind.
Denver's beautiful. Yeah. But I just, I feel like there's a need to just prove or show people how much there is here if you just give it a chance. Not that it isn't obvious if you're looking, but I think so many people just don't try to look or just don't care to.
Yeah.
Jay, you got something to say over there?
No, nothing at all.
Oh, come on. Come on. I mean, I hear you. I mean, I feel like DC is I don't think you have to look at all to find reasons to love this city. I think that people in it are like the first reason. I mean, I guess if I was coming from a different place and looking at this as like a university stop, I guess, but I just can't really imagine looking at DC in that way because it's the nation's capital. It's like the most progressive, intelligent, diverse city in the nation.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine anybody finding anything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That they wouldn't, resonate with on some level. But I mean, I'm not, I'm from around here myself. I grew up in Falls Church and was born in Bethesda. And I've been in DC proper about 17 years, 16 years, something like that. So my experience is probably different, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it's, I live in a little bit of a bubble. So I don't really hang out with like people who just moved here and are trying to find reasons to like the city or hanging on to reasons not to like the city. So it's like a completely different environment for me, I suppose.
So does your blog cover events in like Northern Virginia and Montgomery County and PG?
A little bit.
A little. We stay largely like in the DC Diamond.
You gotta give us a good reason. But if it's I always say if it's on the Metro, like definitely, no question. No question.
What was that request we got from someone in Rockville for like?
Oh
Halloween
somebody.
New
That
Year's
was a
Eve
mom
parties?
actually.
That's right.
It was like, hey, I want to know about cool things for my 16-year-old to do in Rockville on New Year's Eve. I was like, send them to their friend's house. I don't know.
Party in the basement.
Yeah, that's what I did.
That's like
when I
a
was
slippery
16,
slope.
right?
It's like illegal. You're like, listen, man, I'm not willing to answer that question.
Yeah.
I hear the Silver Diner is fun.
Asking strangers on the internet where to send her 16-year-old,
Not a good idea.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
That could go wrong.
Yeah, they probably weren't winning any parenting awards.
Very
She
quickly.
tried.
Last ditch effort.
I mean, but no shout out to
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
My mom
Yeah,
definitely wasn't hitting
credit.
up anybody asking what was fun for me
resourceful.
ever. Not once in my life. I promise you that. Right on. So where do you both live in DC? What neighborhoods do you call home?
We now live basically in the
Yeah.
same neighborhood. Hayden just moved.
Yeah, I moved 2 weeks ago. So I'm still not acclimated to living on U Street, but before that it was 4 years in Northeast. And so I'm working on a little blog post right now about why Northeast is the best. I'm not gonna say it's the best quadrant because I don't want to make it that competitive. It's just the best.
Just the best.
Period. So I during that time I bounced around from sort of like Capitol Hill, Rosedale, Kingman Park, Trinidad, Eckington, and so that's sort of where I still think of my home base. But I'm gonna have to get used to U Street.
It's okay. Grows on you.
It's a whole
Yeah.
different planet. Very loud.
Yeah,
Very
yeah, it is
quiet
loud.
in Northeast for the most. I mean, for
Yeah.
the most part.
Yeah, somebody asked me the other day, like, are there good places to go for a walk near you? And I have a dog, and like it is. I mean, I'm right next to Malcolm X, so obviously that's great. It's gonna be way better during the summer, but Northeast, as far as like Sunday strolls, really awesome. Like you can go up to Brooklyn. There's a couple little parks over there. You can go over to Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens, which is absolutely gorgeous.
The Arboretum
is my favorite.
Yeah, I lived in Trinidad for not quite a year, and I spent so many like rainy days at the Arboretum at the Bonsai Museum.
Oh my God, the bonsai
It's like
is
the
great.
most
Yeah,
relaxing.
yeah.
Is it like an indoor thing?
You gotta go.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's so dope.
I've never been indoors.
It's
And
really
it's not
nice.
even just bonsai. They have like I didn't know
Those
about this
rocks?
before. Yeah, I think it's called pinching. It's like bonsai but for rocks, except you literally the whole art is finding cool rocks. Yeah. It's the most
positioning
meditative
them.
shit.
Oh, is it like the little stacks?
Yeah,
Things like that.
the setting is
As a
really
weed grower,
important.
you really should check out the bonsai.
I know. I feel a little
disappointed.
fucked up
I'm
about
just saying
that.
it changed the way I trim my plants.
Oh shit!
For sure.
There's some there that are 400 years old bonsais.
It's amazing.
It's like a lot of
I've
work.
only ridden my bike
very
around
Older than
the
America.
Arboretum. I feel like everything is older than America. Like in Italy,
America
there's a guy
can't
with a pair of
Everything
shoes
is older than America.
Yeah. America can't look at porn. America can't buy alcohol yet.
Yeah.
America gets carded.
America's in
looking
juvie
for
for
New
being
Year's
a
Eve.
piece of shit before even hit puberty. That's what's really going on.
Oh my God.
Crazy. Living on U Street.
Yeah, there's good stuff on U Street. Some Malcolm X
Isn't it
Park's
wild?
good.
I mean, where on U Street are you?
I'm if you're
Like
familiar with
on you?
Duccini's, the jumbo
Yeah.
slice place. I'm near Duccini's.
It's
like
one of the best
where-
crusts
Oh,
to be
yeah.
found. Their stone.
It's a good crust.
It's the stone ground, the stone mill, and their flowers.
Mhm.
It's really quite good.
Although, have you had Mellow Mushrooms pizza?
No mushrooms.
I'm not just
Yeah.
saying that because that's my homegirl.
The one in Adams Morgan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Their
haven't had that one.
crust is like,
The
it
guy
tastes
at-
like it's got like a pound of butter in it, but it
I
doesn't.
thought there's
All
a
the good
guy
stuff does.
who lives at the other Fields house who's involved with Mellow
Yeah,
Mushrooms
James.
somehow. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's not James though. It's one of the other guys in the house. It's not Ryan. Amit.
That's Pooja's brother.
There we
and
go.
sister.
There we go.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're opening an And Pizza on 18th Street too.
Uh-oh.
Battle
Throw
of the
down.
Pizzas.
Like
Yeah,
across the street, I think.
yeah, near the bookstore.
So
They better not
sick
take that
of
line down.
Pizza places in the city. God.
I thought you were gonna say you're sick of pizza. Like,
I'm sick
generally.
of pizza. I'm sick of
wow.
burgers. I'm sick of
Uh-huh.
cupcakes. I'm sick of salads. I'm sick of mediocre ass restaurants
Yeah.
in
Mm.
my fucking city.
They're
I'm sick of. I'm sick of
No?
they're due for a fall. A lot of places are due for a fall. I know people are worried about a restaurant boom, and when you walk past some of these places and see two people inside
Yeah.
and like everything costs like $19, $23, whatever it is, you know this can't last, right?
Well, I mean, there's 3,000 bars and restaurants
Jeez.
in Washington, D.C.
And that's not to say
That's
that there's
wild.
not a thriving like food scene. I absolutely
Yeah.
think there
Yeah, but that's
is.
fucking ridiculous. Like, so when you're having to come up with, and no disrespect, I've said this before, like Derek Brown and the Game of Thrones bar, like those three bars were always kind of theme bars, and they put a lot into it. But in general, like theme bars are bullshit. Like if you have to come up with some kind of crazy theme to set your bar
Yeah, the theme
out,
is alcohol.
like maybe you should build a fucking school. I don't know. Build a grocery store. Like build a community center. Build a fucking
Wait, how does a
playground,
school
like,
have a theme? Like you mean a
No, I
mascot?
think just
what
like
I'm
put
saying-
that money
what I'm
into a
saying is
school.
like, what I'm saying is
do something better.
no, like if you have to come up with a gimmick to sell food, then there's clearly already too much fucking
too much
food.
food.
First of all,
There's a place.
So
there's like hundreds and hundreds of countries on the planet Earth, who many of which have an embassy in this city.
true.
Okay, we have the opportunity to taste the world.
Word.
Why do we keep opening pizza places,
Right.
Yeah, that's
burger
fair.
joints,
That's fair.
Right.
and salad spots? It is
Wins.
disrespectful to the actual
Truth.
culture that you find here in this city. It is insidious in nature. I'm sick of seeing them. I think we should boycott because it actually makes absolutely no sense marketing wise. I did not
Right.
go to school to marketing and see this happen here.
Right.
Like if you're gonna gentrify the city, give us the world. That's it.
Right.
Hold them accountable to fucking doing more than pizza, because that's an insult
That's a
to our
demand.
intelligence.
I like it.
I'm with
My
it.
mouth deserves better.
You know,
That's
I
a good
agree.
slogan.
I agree. Damn it. I
Vote for Jay Mills.
We need
Man.
a,
Yes.
we need a gavel like Lonnie.
What's like the first restaurant you'd boycott? Is it like Sweet Green?
Yeah, which one? And pizza?
And pizza.
I could co-sign and
Chopped.
pizza. You want to know why?
Kava.
And pizza, because Subway did it first. And if you really wanted to have all your random stuff on a pizza, go to Subway. Everything else is derivative.
And other people contest it's not even a pizza. They say it's a flatbread. So
I'm not doing this.
Yeah, that's a whole argument I'm not even willing to engage in. But I
tension's
have a
It's an
small
open-faced
beef
sandwich.
with and pizza.
pretty much.
I have a small beef with them.
It's an open
I
panini.
like their food. I think it's great. Like I was doing it wrong. I was just ordering the regular like on the board
Yeah,
joints,
they
and then
got-
some
yeah.
guy was in front of me one time and put this like mountain of fucking food on his pizza, and I was like,
Yeah.
"What have I
What?
been doing with my whole fucking life?
pounds of
My
food
whole
on
life is
bread.
a
I make
lie."
my own. I forge my own
Oh,
path.
now I'm like some of that, some of that, some of that, some of that. But and I think it's dope that they hire graffiti artists like friends of mine to design their boxes. Like
cool.
lots of my friends have actually, and those boxes are dope. But those boxes are a fucking problem. Why are you
Oh,
giving
they
someone a
fit
box
so
if they're
badly.
eating their pizza inside of your restaurant? You're
What are they gonna
folding the
eat it
box.
on?
Yeah.
You're putting it in the box. You're sitting them at a table. They're eating half of their pizza. at the least, and they're walking out with a big ass box that they also don't need. You could have just made half-size boxes. You can also just serve them joints on plates. But every time I've ever gone to an And Pizza, they've given it to me in a box. Think about how many fucking pizza boxes in an average day each And Pizza location fucking goes through. Think about
outside
like
the box.
how much cardboard and trash each one of them generates, and not once have I ever been to an And Pizza and they gave me that shit on a fucking plate. Not once. You don't need whole boxes, you only need those for to go. And even for the people that eat there, they're not leaving with a whole pizza, they're always leaving with half. Make smaller boxes. Like, their imprint has to be way too fucking big. Like, there's no way that it's not. There's no way that it's not. Like, and I love those boxes. They're dope, so don't be mad at me, but y'all are making too much fucking trash, man.
I just will not give them the credit. I refuse to acknowledge mediocrity. It's 2018. It's the information age. Do better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Know your market.
Yes.
The world is big. You know.
And don't open up an And Pizza and cross the street from a fucking pizza joint that's already there, you douche lords.
And, like,
That's why
among
I'm
all the
it
jumbo
goes
slice
against
pizzas,
all marketing
too.
luck.
That's
You
like
cannot erase everything. and
Well,
give us
It's like
pizza.
Walmart mentality, man.
No, you won't.
There is that really weird thing where gas stations cluster, and it like actually does make economic sense. And I've never been
Yeah,
able
but
to
people
grasp it.
need
Compete on
gas.
price.
They don't need pizza.
There's some
like,
Pizza is the
people
gas
who
of your
will-
body.
yeah, I
I
mean,
disagree, but
people love pizza.
No,
but
everything can cluster whenever you have a business that has overload. It's always about supply and demand. That one business selling whatever the fuck. If it has a line, there will be another business selling exactly
Right.
whatever the fuck. Because it's like,
Yeah.
whatever you
But
do,
if
all
there's
of a
not a
sudden,
line
it's gonna be that.
and you're just coming in there to like swing your dick around the room
Yeah.
and like fuck people's shit up, then no, you're just a dick.
right.
you can recycle pizza boxes now.
Yeah, but
Is that new?
Or you
yeah,
could just
like as of like last November or something.
Wait, so before that you
Like,
couldn't?
wow.
Yeah,
I know,
it's
right?
What kind of
remnants
paper were
on
they
it.
made of? That
It's
was
because
that
you like can't have
doing
food
this
residue
wrong?
on recycled.
Yeah, it was the
items.
grease.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Somehow they invented
always
some
put
sort of
those in the
grease-busting
recycling
agent.
box, and I thought
you
I
got
was doing a
sharper
good thing.
blades.
I know, and
the,
every time you were
Yeah.
like, I'm a good person.
For
Yeah.
for decades and decades and decades now, I can say that 3 times. I've been putting my pizza boxes in the recycling, thinking I was helping the earth.
You're like,
But
hell yeah, I'm so glad. Nope. So that means And Pizza, for the number of their years in business, we're not recycling any of that shit.
No.
Yeah, man,
no.
no. There was no
Yeah.
reason to bring us more pizza. I'm over it. Once again, DC's dope. Shout outs to all of the random countries that have representation here.
Word.
Let's get some like weird foods from strange countries I've never traveled to.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know what's the food in Uzbekistan and
Oh,
I was just trying to think if the place
bet
I
it's
went to
goat.
the other day was Uzbek or Mongolian, and I don't remember.
Where'd you
but
go?
it was
I want to know the difference.
it's right over the Cleveland Park Metro. I don't remember what it was called.
There's so many
Amazing tea.
I want an Indonesian restaurant. I've had a lot of Thai. I've had a lot of Indian. We got Pakistani foods. Like, there's so many Malaysian restaurants.
There's really
What's up
good
with
Yeah, I
that?
go with
food
Malaysian
in
restaurant.
Virginia,
Jay, you're making me hungry.
but I don't know.
have a
Virginia,
car.
Northern Virginia, and Bethesda have really, and Silver Spring. I'll give them a
Give them the credit where it's due.
Reluctantly.
Bethesda's in the Guinness Book of World
Yeah.
Records for having the most density of restaurants.
It's like
per square
300
mile.
plus that
What?
participates in
Yeah.
Restaurant Week. It is amazing.
It's insane.
Bethesda has awesome,
Like,
awesome
In
restaurants.
terms
And again,
of their space, it's mostly restaurants.
yeah.
And the Barnes and
I'm
Noble.
trying to
So
weird.
So many,
Weirdo,
and they don't, and they're not all pizza and salad and burger joints,
Right?
Yeah.
Can't get a wing.
Yeah.
You know, that's when I had Albanian food for the first time.
Well,
I was like,
Albanian,
oh.
it's pretty simple, but it's
What
good.
what's that all about?
Good meatballs.
Yeah.
Yum. I could do that.
Yeah.
Barek. They're like these little bread things with like cheese on them.
Yeah.
Really good.
I'm down for bread and cheese.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good combo, but not pizza.
Kind of like, it's just not,
Yeah.
as long as it's
It's
not
sort-
And Pizza.
It's like Albanian food's like in between Greek food and Italian food.
Yes.
I think
Ooh.
maybe
With a
'cause-
splash of
and
Russian.
Turkish. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that
I
sounds
think
good.
because all those places like ruled them at one point.
And they left their spices
But it's
there.
a cool blend.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, man. There's so many countries in the world. Let's taste the world, we need group participation in this. If your mouth feels like it deserves better, if your mouth is tired of the same old greasy pizza, burgers, and
Hamburger
stuff,
violence.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
No,
Hamburger
No.
violence.
no, you deserve the world.
Taste a rainbow, as they say.
Vote for J Mills.
Power your mouth. It's good.
Yeah, man. I'm all about that. I'm excited. I've been trying to figure out what's the best like rotisserie chicken.
Oh,
You
wait
know
a minute.
what I'm
I
talking about.
gotta plug in there. Well, I got a favorite fried chicken right now.
Where?
The spot, Reese's spot that you were talking about.
No, I mean we were on the Misobi tip for a minute, but there's some I'm not gonna do them like that. But it's a little too greasy for me. But I think there's something going on in that chicken.
I remember you were saying that, and I was like, "Fuck, that sounds delicious."
It's so good.
It's too crunchy. It's too greasy. It's too juicy. It's too what?
Misobi, it got a little something and a little woo woo, and it's just
Yes.
Yes. No, not in a good way. Little like pockets of weird
Yes.
pus or
Oh,
something.
Ew.
what?
Like it's
That
like
went
No.
unappetizing.
yeah, that's
Go
what I'm
on.
saying. No, it's not a yes.
Sounds
But-
like it's a fat bubble that happens when you're eating some really crispy, juicy chicken.
Yeah.
That's
Sometimes.
fresh.
That's what it sounds
Maybe don't
like.
call it a
Fresh.
fat bubble.
Sometimes.
Doesn't sound great.
I'm here for the fat
Yeah,
bubble.
no,
You
no,
know,
no,
I'm
on-
not
on
here to
chicken,
discriminate
yeah.
Again,
On
against the
chicken,
fat.
yeah.
Nothing
On
you said was
everything,
not
goddamn. No, Crown Fried Chicken on H Street.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
kosher or halal.
Yeah, I
Are
think
these
it's
kind of
called-
the same things?
No.
I mean, I know they're not the same thing, but like
They
it's
are, but no. Let's say pull up,
okay. So, which is the one where they drain
They're
the blood?
pull up,
Which one do they
pull
drain
up,
the blood?
pull up, pull up,
Kosher.
pull up, pull up, pull up.
I mean, it's a real question.
Yeah.
It's how they prepare it. They drain the blood. Like when they kill the animal, they drain all the blood and then they pack it and freeze it. Versus other animals, they just like kill them and pack them. So like when I'm pretty sure that's the definition of like what kosher is. I mean, I know it's more than that, but like it's the other one. That's okay. So it's halal. See, boom, verified.
Yeah.
Nice.
See, I didn't know, so I wasn't gonna guess because
Yeah, I
my
was
name
gonna
is
say
Jamila, and that would be haram. So I just left it alone,
Yes.
man. Shout
Okay.
outs to animals that die without violence. Shout outs to being a
Yes.
warrior. Shout outs to killing what you eat and knowing the value of what you put in your mouth. It's back there again. I think that's the thing.
Crown chicken. Crown fried chicken. But no, so it's halal.
My
I think they put the
metaphysical
Popeyes
meal is
out
gonna
of
be about the
business.
mouth.
Um,
go ahead.
well, no, the Popeyes got remodeled,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's back now.
Oh, it's back. Okay.
It's back.
My office is above Popeyes, and it
Ooh,
knocks
that's
on my
tough.
door every day at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Every day. 10 o'clock,
Yeah.
right on the dot.
Fried chicken.
Where are the
Fresh.
biscuits?
Fresh. I think the chicken's ready now.
Oh my god! I would have I would weigh like 100 more pounds if I like lived or occupied any space that close to a fucking Popeye.
I give into it
Hands
once a
down.
week. I'm just like, if I can compromise
once
with
a week
the
is
beast,
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah.
then I'm like, no Popeyes. Today is not your day.
Not today,
Yeah.
Satan.
And nope. Hasn't
Yeah.
been 7 days.
I'm a big believer in measured indulgence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Good one.
Not me.
considered
Fuck
indulgence.
that shit.
That's how I survive living that close to Duccini's.
Oh yeah, man. You gotta learn how to. It's like gambling, knowing when to walk away.
Mhm.
You know, like sometimes you just gotta stop
Um,
yourself.
Well, see, I live like really close to a 7-Eleven, so that's not so hard. And then the pie shop is like a solid 15-minute walk. So
Mhm.
I'm in there. You know what I mean? I feel like
What neighborhood are you in?
Trinidad,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool.
right over by Bladensburg Road, Heckinger Mall, right next to the
I used to
7-Eleven.
go to that 7-Eleven like so late.
Yeah, it's like home of beef patties.
Yeah.
Fucking love those things.
Yeah, there's a
Everything
certain
you
time
want.
of the night where it will save your life.
Well, the problem is like in the summertime, like I'm on my bike and I'll ride and I'll put a lot of miles in or a lot, like I'll work all day and then I'll ride home and I'll take an extra long ride and I'll ride 10 miles and then I'll get home at like 1:30 and I'm fucking hungry as
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
Because I've
starving.
been like legit riding my bike and I want food and like,
Is the Denny's 24 hours?
you know,
Yep,
I
it
don't
sure
know, but
is.
you gotta be,
Right?
I gotta,
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah,
It
it is.
might be the move
Mhm.
It's an option.
tonight.
you
That is an
know,
option. Were you there when Bardo was still in Trinidad?
yeah,
Yeah.
those
It's a sore
motherfuckers.
point.
Why? Why is it a sore
Why
point?
is it? Well, it just clearly
I don't know.
is.
Yeah.
One
Yeah,
way or
like-
the other.
Those
You tell
motherfuckers.
us.
Yeah.
They're the worst. But they've been the worst for so long.
Yeah.
I give them an A for
Consistency.
consistency.
Yeah. Something
They
to
know
be
what
said
you're
for that
getting.
for sure.
They cross state lines and they're still dicks. You know what I'm saying? I remember going to Bardo's when I was in high school. I mean, After high school, clearly.
Definitely.
And they got shut down for like roach infestation and rat infestation. Even back then, they were like the home of like beer pong and underage drinking and cheap pool. Like 2 of those things are all right with me. So,
Right.
yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm a
Really?
cyclist, and so they
Well, I saw that thing about like locking your bikes
The
in
bike
the Navy
locks.
Yard location.
yeah. They
I biked there once and it wasn't that crowded, so it was.
Well, they
It's
put
okay.
these like little, like, you know those
These,
like
like,
hooks
hooks.
that you screw
Yeah.
into the ceiling. Like there's some right there hanging off
like-
of the sound panels, like those little round. That's what they
Yeah,
put on
yeah.
a wooden board, and they're like, lock your bike to
And like
this.
they
and I'm
attached them to
like,
logs.
Yeah, no,
How?
How am I supposed to lock my bike?
Have you
That's
ever
not
seen
a
a bike lock?
thing, son. First of
Yeah.
all, my lock won't even fit through that.
Yeah, I don't know
like-
what they were thinking.
I
I would
don't
just
know.
lock my bike to like the fence way out in the front, and
I'd like to
call it a day.
lock it to the owner's ego, but it wasn't available,
goodness.
so I had to.
Worth a try.
So yeah, being in DC, being a native Washingtonian, being a foodie just comes along with it. Gotta ask, you consider yourselves to be the fingers on the pulse of the city.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear. Not like just us. You know, there's like a collective.
What's
us.
up with your brunch?
Oh,
Do you
I don't-
brunch?
I don't really do brunch.
What?
Because it's not that I don't like brunch food. I love brunch food. You don't. But I prefer to like eat it wearing sweatpants in my home doing a crossword puzzle
Yeah.
than to spend a whole lot of money at brunch
Brunching?
when I can make pancakes. in my
You
house.
really hit
Yeah.
a nerve with Jay now.
Yeah.
Don't talk shit about brunching.
No,
I didn't realize this was a personal subject.
I guess I'm in favor of brunch, but I have, like Colleen, experienced it mainly as a in the home occasion. Like, you know, get all your friends in the neighborhood over.
Yeah. Do a potluck.
Have them show up around 11. Just like cook up a storm. Play some board games, watch some TV, whatever it is. You do. You make the same. I mean, you go out to brunch.
I mean, I'm
you
not
just
gonna
eat-
make,
the
like-
drink is a mimosa,
Some
right?
sauce.
Very difficult to make. And then it's like
But so
pancakes and
Wait,
Wait,
bacon.
are you about to like go on brunch now?
No.
As a
There's
meal?
love for brunch. I'm not gonna make like an eggs Benedict
Wait
in
a
my
minute.
house, you know. But like scrambled eggs, I can do.
I love
Wait, tell us
brunch.
about your brunch experience.
No, I'll just go on to another question.
No.
No,
I
what's your
actually-
favorite
I'm-
brunch
Can I
place?
talk
I'm
about
fa-
brunch? I love brunch. I have a brunch shout out.
Pancakes
You have one?
offend
I
them.
do. The Queen
In
Vic.
public. Public pancakes are a problem.
No. There's something for special occasions.
Eat your pancakes in
I don't want
private.
anybody
That's
to look at
disgusting.
me.
This is the conspiracy theory we're trying to avoid.
Some people
Look, I think we're
pancake
pancake
publicly,
haters.
some people pancake privately.
J-Mills,
I'm a public pancaker. That's
can we
me.
sign this down?
That's what I do. Vote
There
for
you
J
go.
Mills.
I've been like very greedy with that because you're so
no.
far away. But dude,
I'm
can I-
fascinated with the.
Go ahead.
There's this. I think a really interesting like political thing around brunch, because people on both sides of the political spectrum have shown some hatred for brunch. So there was the I think it was like
What?
Jack on Fire, maybe.
Who is that?
They're
Fuck that guy, man. Who is
Brunching is
fuck does he think he is?
anti-establishment. Is that what you just said?
I don't think so.
no.
Damn
It's
it,
the
damn it.
opposite.
Oh, okay.
So there's like there's people on the right who see it as like this like amoral like orgy
crystal
of
elite.
like
Oh,
you
I'm
know
gonna brunch so hard.
yeah I
I
know
know,
right,
going
right?
to
Which
church.
makes brunch sound so metal and
like,
then
but
then there's
put
like
on some porn in the background just to like
Yeah.
No
sauce it
idea
up a little
brunching
bit.
was
That's
so
brunch
gangster.
slash run.
Oh
and then
my gosh.
but then there's people I think on the left who see it as this like symbol of like what all the like young millennials who come in and are like kind of clueless,
they're
right?
not
And they're
at
just
church.
like
They're brunching.
yeah, no,
that's the
that's
right.
literally a line from this guy's like essay against brunch.
Look at them with their mimosas.
Yeah,
That devil's juice.
Devil's juice on a Sunday morning.
All those bubbles are their sins
yeah.
coming to the surface. Wait, I'm onto something here. I feel like,
Yeah.
Bottomless
Whoa.
refills of sin.
Brunch is the devil's meal. Oh my gosh, I had no idea.
That's why I love it so
That's
much.
what deviled eggs are all about. you know?
Deviled eggs.
Does
are
that make
right.
chicken and waffles like
Yeah.
Heavenly.
obligatory?
Extra hot sauce?
Right? Dude,
Yeah.
Queen Vic though, brunch till 5.
Yes.
And I think the chicken and waffle thing is like super overplayed because it's never that good.
Where's Queen Vic's?
On
Where's
8th Street, and they brunch till 5, and dude, their
Brunch
chicken
till
and
5.
waffles is actually like, it's like Texas toast, but like twice as thick. This giant one massive French toast slab, and then this like pickle brined, ridiculously well-made giant chicken breast on top, and it is like this crunchy, sweet, fried, greasy goodness. It's the best thing on the fucking planet.
Wow. What's that? What's like the Belgian place on H Street? It has one window. I always forget the name.
Oh yeah, Doctor something.
I feel like it has a G in it. It's like sort of near
Granville Moores.
Yes, Granville Moores.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Really, that is a
they get good.
They have good drinks. Isn't that the one with like the guava mimosa or something like that?
Oh,
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't really fuck with mimosas. I'm like Jameson. Neat.
Maybe that's
Neat.
the wrong.
Got that guava.
I'm like, give me the Irish
Jameson.
coffee without the Baileys.
What about late night spots? If it's like 2 in the morning.
Yeah. What's
the Denny's was the one for a while.
The
For
Denny's.
sure. But now I'm right next to a Fast Gourmet. Now Panino Gourmet.
How is it? How's it
Maybe that's the
stack up?
singular of Panini.
Panino?
What time
Yeah.
do they close?
It's a baby panino.
Like 3, 4.
Oh,
Yeah.
A panino.
nice.
But it's the gas station sandwich place.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Mm-hmm.
place. Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah.
Fast
Yeah,
gourmet.
the Cubanos.
No.
Fast
On
Gourmet was a
The
Youth
food
crowd
is
favorite.
bomb, but
14th.
Yeah.
ignorance is bliss. Let me tell you that. Right? Food is delicious. Been there many, many
Yeah.
times.
Good fries.
You ever go to a place and the last time you go, it's the last time you go?
What
How do you
happened?
Well, all I'm saying is the last time I went was the last time I went. And it's fucking fantastic, though. That's all I can say about that.
Oh man.
And nothing. It was not delicious the last time I went. I'll say that.
You gotta end on a high note.
You're so
Yeah.
nice.
I mean, vote for J Mills. I'm working on being politically correct.
What else is like on your platform?
I'm
Seriously.
rooting
Diversify
for
your mouth food. What else we got?
Please your mouth.
There, you said it better. I couldn't remember it.
Yeah.
Liberate your mouth.
Your mouth.
Leave this one to you
Globalize,
guys.
globalize
Yeah.
your palate.
Just prioritize your mouth. Yeah. Was it?
Prioritize your mouth. That's a great bumper sticker if I've ever heard one.
It matters. It's important, and you should treat it well.
Oh, do you need a lighter, Miss Mills?
I was trying to I don't know how you position this to pass it without it falling.
Oh, it's
Oh,
not
there
a
we go.
thing.
Nailed it.
You did? Did you hit it?
I did.
Are you sure? It's
Barely.
not smoking. It doesn't. There's no evidence.
I was coughing, so I was
Word.
no way.
That's how you know.
So you know what my favorite food is on U Street right now?
What?
Toku.
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 Is
What
that
is
Toki
that?
ripoff?
Toku.
What
Is
is
that the
that?
singular
No.
of a Toki?
No. Toki.
Toku
I'm not gonna
above
stop.
ground.
I'm gonna evoke my inner J Mills and only say nice things about people today. But no, Toku. It's on
Today.
it's right next to like 13th and fucking U, man, right there next to the
What kind
U
of food
Scream
is
for ice cream joint and next to Alero. Right next to Alero.
Oh.
And it was a fucking
the
whatever
Korean
Thai. It was like
taco
a
place?
some
Yeah, it's like-
Thai place, but then now it's called Toku.
Salatai?
It used to be a Salatai, yes, and then now it's Toku, Toku. It's been there for a couple years. It looks the exact same. So you walk in,
Is there sushi better?
dude. Their food is fucking amazing, and it's ridiculously cheap, and it's always mad fresh and mad good.
Are they open late?
I don't think they're open late, but they have a awesome lunch special,
Yeah?
and they have a killer like sushi happy hour.
Oh, I'm gonna check them out.
Their
tomorrow.
sushi is banging.
I'm going tomorrow.
But best sushi in the city,
Paid money.
y'all know.
Uh-oh,
I
here
feel
we
like
go.
this is like right in
Tell us.
y'all's lane,
Right, we got this.
Y'all should know.
7:30.
right?
I don't know that Hayden and I are
No.
the foodies of the 7:30 crew.
What?
Per se.
Okay, well I'll tell you guys.
Tell us.
You guys want to know where the? Can I have that lighter? You know where the best sushi is in the whole city?
Where?
It's a shocker. Brace yourselves. The Hamilton.
Really?
What?
Oh.
Dude, fuck what you heard. In the back, they got a whole sushi bar. It's the freshest sushi in the city. They got real ass sushi chefs. There's a lot of
The
S's
Hamilton
coming out of my
sushi
mouth
is
right
the
now.
best in the city at 11 p.m. From 11 to 2, you're
It's
good. You should
half
totally
price.
go because it's half price.
Oh, whoa.
Yes.
You giving away your secrets?
No, this is I'm gonna go there tonight.
Right
now. Whoa, what time is this joint over?
Can I come?
Like 10:30?
I want
You
to
got your
come.
plans.
I'm going,
But no, for real,
No,
it's-
at any other time, I would definitely not say.
Oh man, but I've had great sushi there. But maybe I was just really excited about the deal I was getting.
DuPont
Yeah.
Circle?
Where?
You sushi'd around
The anticipation
DuPont?
ski.
No.
Several
You know, I'm talking a lot of
bunch of
shit
them.
about the best sushi joint. I don't know anything. I just know that shit is good
But
and
it was
it's half
delicious.
price
But yeah,
every
that's
night between
important.
11 p.m. and 2 a.m. So if you are looking for that late night joint
Yes.
and you don't want to eat a bunch of fried food
Yes.
and you want some bomb ass, sushi rolls,
fresh
and
sushi from 11 to 2.
half
pretty good.
price. And,
It's sushi.
and same thing with
It's
the
midnight.
Yeah.
What?
I like my
I'm so
late
down to go.
night.
If you want to go.
I'm going.
I'm a fan
going.
of the El Rey window for late night. Not sushi, nor pizza.
Wait, El Rey has a window. I've seen the
can't-
window, but I've
Yes.
never
I
seen
can't
it
do
in
that.
action.
No.
You can't do that. It's a window,
Why?
and it
What's wrong
serves
with
late
that?
night
Good.
like Mexican food.
It's fine.
Dude, the mushroom tacos.
You can
are
get
the
like
truth.
tamales.
But they're such
taquitos.
dicks to you at the front door. It makes it really hard to want to go back. Like if you don't have an ID, like I'll go there with my whole staff for like the third time in a 2-week period, and we just want to fucking eat. And like Mike doesn't have an ID because he likes to be a fucking pain in my ass all the fucking time. And it's not the point. And they won't let us in because he doesn't have an ID. Look at this
He
man.
looks like he's 12.
Dude, seriously, I would totally card him too. But it's like, come on, man. Like, we're
Yeah, we
a
were
local
just
business.
here.
You tag us in all your
Yeah.
fucking Instagram posts to get the extra traction. Like, can I feed my staff? You know what I mean?
True
But those
story.
mushroom tacos are the fucking truth, young. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
I got to get out to Hyattsville for the tacos.
What's in Hyattsville?
La Placida.
Huh.
Yeah, really good.
They got like tongue and all that shit on the menu,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah,
I
like
can't
what?
do that. Do you eat the tongue, J Mills? I mean, tacos.
Is that part of
tongue tacos.
respecting the mouth?
I don't
Part of the
know.
platform.
That's how you know
I'm
she
about to
respects her.
channel.
Waiting for an answer for real. I thought
Yeah.
I was going to keep going. I will say I have had tongue. It can be delicious when prepared right.
Can't do it.
So true.
I mean, it's a muscle that's very lean, so you
Ugh.
got to know what you're doing with it. But
Yeah.
it's a very flexible muscle. It's
Holla.
different. You got to skin it and stuff. Shout outs to butchers and folks that break down animals and know what I'm talking about. Shout out to anybody from the Caribbean. Shout out to that whole West Indian massive. Y'all know about that cow tongue, cow foot.
Oof. I'm kind of a
Shout
wussy,
outs to
man.
my Africans, yo. Hold on.
I can't do all the heavy meat stuff, man. I'm just not into it.
Oh, I can do heavy meat.
Yeah. I knew that was. I knew Nita was coming.
You did it.
Do it. I do it.
It's the wine. It's the wine. I've been talking about that a lot. I've been on this whole survivor shit. Like, yo, we got to get
What?
back in touch with the earth.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
Like
if you had to
survival
like
Not the
catch an
show.
animal, could you?
Uh-huh.
I think we
Uh-huh.
should ask
Do you
the
know?
question. I think we should. I was thinking about this the other day. I think we should ask them the.
Zombie
Survivor
question.
Yeah.
question?
Oh.
Okay.
But I think you should ask it because I always get it wrong.
Okay. So there's a zombie apocalypse,
Mhm.
right?
Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
on board.
It's happening,
Yeah.
and you've gotten all the people that you do know together. You know, we've commandeered a vessel and
Oh, where?
a fleet of
They're
vessels.
not zombies yet.
No.
Okay.
We empty cruise ships,
Okay.
commandeered them. Now we're on a
Spirit of
trip.
the Potomac.
You have been granted by the spirit
Of Washington.
No, that's a boat.
to bring along 3 dope artists. Who are the
Of
3
any genre.
musicians that
Oh,
gotta come
musicians.
rock
Oh, it has
the
to be-
boat? Yo.
I was like, can I bring a
Like a
karate
visual
master?
Martial
Nah,
artist.
man, this cruise ship's gonna be lit.
Lit.
It has
Got
to
it.
be
So,
a
like,
never-ending party.
Yeah, is
yo.
this
We're all
is this
gonna
like an
die of
end of the world
starvation?
party?
It's
like
the end of the
Matrix
world.
2
There's
kinda
nothing else
situation?
going
Like
on.
Jam
We
Power.
made it. We fought ourselves
Yeah.
through the zombie apocalypse. We
Okay.
made it on this boat.
Do we have food, or are we going to eat each other at some point?
We got food. We have all
No, we
these
left the
things.
zombie.
Colleen's like, I was
Everything-
thinking about bringing the guy who's really good at cooking people.
What's
I'm just
Hot new
planning for my
pop-up at
future.
a
I want to
Union
grow
Market.
old on this boat.
Yeah, he's probably got a stall there right now.
Next to the
Nah,
doses.
man. The one thing that we need is to be happy again.
Okay,
You know, we've
okay.
just made it through a
Alright.
whole zombie apocalypse, and we're all tired and rugged. And the universe said, "Yo, party."
Let there be
They're gonna
joy.
give us a wish.
So I think you got to have a variety of genres
Mm-hmm.
because you have to have your like up energy band / artist. You got to have your like, let's all be a bit mellow and reflect on the lives we've left behind.
Yeah, because nobody brought their
be a bit
iPod, nobody
spiritual.
got their music on the
Yeah.
boat. We just have to have live performances.
So for that one,
Shit.
I'm
For the
all
rest of
in for
time.
Andrew Bird, 100%.
Who's Andrew
He would be
Bird?
my first choice.
Okay.
Who's Andrew Bird?
I'm sorry.
He
He's
is
like
it's like a folk artist, best known for his whistling
Yeah,
and violin
Crazy
playing.
good at whistling.
Now I understand why I didn't know who it was.
Boy, it's
Carry
amazing.
on.
He
She
actually
wants him because
released-
he can blow.
Oh.
I saw him at 930 Club, and it was the best concert I've ever been to. He also releases albums recorded like in a place, and so he recorded one in a slot canyon, like in, I don't know, Arizona or something. And so you hear like, it's called echolocations. You hear the echoes of the music like against the slot canyon walls, and then there's one that he
That's cool.
released recently that was recorded like under a bridge in the LA River, and so you hear like the sounds of the water like lapping up against the sides and these like
Ooh.
string like ethereal violins.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
We gotta put that in the description, Nick. The artist names so people
Andrew
can look it
Bird.
up later. And by people I mean me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
check it out. Check it out.
Right
Oh
on.
man, I'm thinking Yola Tango because they're really great cover artists. Like you can mention any song and they'll immediately be able to play it. So I think that would kind of their responsibility would be to like preserve the entirety of the like American
Use
musical
everyone
tradition.
else's music.
But and then God, I guess like I don't know.
Yeah.
Chance the Rapper would be like
Ooh.
fun for because they could bring that sort of like party like hell yeah we made it like a little bit triumphant. Maybe he gets to bring some like guest singers too.
Oh, that's like expanding the universe.
Yeah,
of
I know.
people you
I
can
know. I'm
keep on
kind of
the boat.
cheating. And then
Okay, with that.
You're like,
yeah, I don't know.
Chance the Rapper and
And
special
others.
guests.
Anybody who's
Everybody he's
ever featured.
ever
That's like wishing for more wishes right there.
and then Bjork
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
because she's an alien and she can take us to the next planet.
Bjork and Portishead, I think, are
Oh
like
my God.
from similar.
I listened to too much
uh-huh.
Portishead for about 6 months. I went into like a heavy depression. Heavy. I was like, nothing
Oh, man.
matters.
Yikes.
It was kind of bad. I was like,
Makes
I
you
think
feel like humans suck. That's how you know they're aliens.
They're
they're like
different from
Loki
us.
just warning us. They're like, you're
Yeah.
all terrible.
They are. They're like humanity.
Yeah, that was sort of all those like sort of 90s. The 90s like bands that retained their like critical acclaim all were like people suck. Like technology's coming for you. It's going to kill you all.
They were right.
Yeah, and they were
So
right.
right.
That's
They
how
were so
you know
right.
they were aliens.
Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that.
They
till
tried to
right
warn
now.
us.
They did.
have
They
them on your
all
boat.
tried. We just didn't
Yeah.
believe them.
We didn't listen.
I think I'd
man.
also take on like some female rockers, so I could
Ooh.
keep the energy up, like feel the power. It's like Tao and the Get Down, Stay Down.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Really
They're
jamming
very
on.
uplifting.
Okay.
So good, so good.
Uh-huh.
Ooh. See, now if I was gonna bring like female energy, it'd be like Nina Simone and Aretha Franklin.
They're
Are we
But I
talking
know-
about?
I know
dead
that's
people?
not really fair.
They're not really
We did have a
Aretha's
conversation.
not dead,
like,
is she?
No,
if you
Nina
bring a
Simone.
dead person, does it mean they're a zombie? Or are we like
Oh, that's
suspending
right.
the-
They've been
Zombie
pre-zombie.
Nina would be
Wait,
Well, that we thought about that because of Michael Jackson. We were
right,
like, do we want
right.
You
Uh-huh.
know.
zombie?
Do you wanna risk
that's
it?
Thriller, Mike, though.
Right.
Uh-huh.
We know
he
who
was in
Zombie
there.
Mike
He's
was.
ready. He has the outfit.
He was
and
dope.
everything.
He had a whole zombie crew.
do you think you have the
They were
vocal
dope.
control if you're a zombie? You know, like can you perform if your fingers are falling off?
Zombies do
Yeah.
have
Wondering.
that death rattle in
yeah.
their throat.
Could work
Yeah,
for
the
Nina
bassist
Simone.
goes to pop and his finger just falls off.
Well, they sing like death metal. They're like, ah.
Yeah.
Suddenly, all the words to Thriller are brains.
I briefly was like, Death
When did
Metal.
that happen?
Bruh.
Billie Jean is just brains.
No, I can't. That's
I'd
so
listen to
wrong.
that album,
no,
though.
man. Michael Jackson cannot be a zombie.
Did you
That
see
would,
that?
that would ruin everything.
The Quincy Jones.
Long live the king.
The Quincy Jones
Oh,
interview.
Quincy Jones interview.
Oh my god.
Oh,
There was
Jay,
a lot
you know,
in
we haven't
there.
talked about this.
We haven't, man.
How do
but,
you feel about that?
I feel like, respect the dead. And at the same time, old people can say what they
Yeah.
want. So
yeah.
I just have to the whole
Yeah,
thing.
cool. You know,
He's
I can-
85.
I feel the same. Like, I really liked him more just because he said motherfucker a lot. And I was like, that's a man that I could get along with.
Yeah.
But I also was like,
And he
you know,
asked the sign of
he
the
didn't
interviewer.
really have to.
Oh, yeah.
Are you a Pisces?
He
Right
didn't
up
really
front.
have to do all that. You know, he didn't. Yeah, there were some likable things about him, but he didn't have to do.
I mean, there's what he
No.
said, and then there's what the interviewer wrote. You know, who knows if he was like, "Yo, this is off the record," or you know, there's still this artistic liberty that we don't know.
Yeah,
We really don't. We don't know how much time, and again, under what context these things were said. Is this really a flat out, just
There's a
transcript or?
Yeah.
Columbia Journalism Review actually published an interview with the interviewer
Oh,
about
really?
all this.
Oh
So
shit!
it's out there.
I've got to read that because
The
I'm
answers are out
curious
there.
too.
I don't. After being interviewed, I know that it's very interesting when it's like,
Oh yeah, when you see what
Like
came
it's
out.
yeah,
right.
It's like, I was there, and this is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Completely different take
I got-
on what the fuck I said.
I got interviewed in the
Amazing.
Post for a article about it was when Catania and Bowser were in the mayoral race against one another, and I was like, I told the interviewer, he was like, what are you up to this week? And I was like, well, we have 8 people visiting, so there's 12 people in my house right now. And then the next thing I know, I'm reading in the Post, Hayden Higgins, who lives in a Bloomingdale, I told him it was Eckington, Bloomingdale, respect North Capitol, great street, respect North Capitol. Hayden Higgins, who lives in a Bloomingdale group home with 13 people. I'm like, you're going to get me evicted, you dumb shit. I emailed him saying you can't say that. That's objectively wrong and nothing. So
Yeah, so
the whole
too,
730
yeah.
project has actually been we're playing the long game to get back at them for that.
Are you eventually gonna find that interviewer at that
Yeah.
Washington Post
Yeah,
guy?
yeah.
I have
Say
a grudge
it
against the
was
city
20
paper,
people.
but apparently that guy's gone now, so I don't have
Yeah,
a
there's
grudge
a lot
against the city paper.
Your eye still has a grudge against the city paper.
My what?
That's a grudging eye.
I was like, I'm not mad anymore.
grudging
eye.
eye.
But no,
Yeah.
actually, it's a whole new editor, and then also the best of thing came out the last few days.
And then you guys were best
And
at everything.
yeah, we won. So now, no problem. No,
That's great.
no, not at all. Let me break it down. So I had an issue because for 4 years I would write them and say you have a best bathroom to bang in, you have a best jazz jam session.
They had best place to buy fuzzy handcuffs this year as
Right.
a category.
This year?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the
Oh,
nomination
fuck.
sheet.
Then I take everything I was about to say nice about them back. And I just think, you know what, that's fine. Have fun with it. But, can we get, a best arts blog, a best artist, a best new, whatever. There's,
They definitely have
it's
more
a
of that.
very gentrified, bullshit-ass best of list. There's a best arts blog. There's not a best music blog. There's not a best culture blog. So, who's going to win that? Philippa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay?
Who's that?
And I'm not mad at Philippa Hughes.
Pink
She
Line
does a bunch
Project.
Pink Line Project. She does a bunch of art stuff. So all the people
Yeah.
that are reading that and voting that are going to vote for
Creative
her.
DC.
And she should, and made in DC, and they should win that because they're arts blogs, right? A music blog is not an arts blog. They glaze over all the people that have made Flash and all the events that exist in the city without mainstream support are the ones that have built the culture here, and they don't even give any love to even put that in as a fucking category. So for 4 years I was like, hey, what's up? I see you have best places to bang, how about this? And I did that for 4 years, and then one day I got tired of it. And so I emailed everybody that had anything to do with editorial on the city paper. And I would called them actually, and I was left messages hey, what's up? My name is Molly. I own this company, and for 4 years I've been tweeting and Instagramming and messaging you guys wondering what's up? You have all these categories. Can you put in something that actually fucking matters? And I'm just really curious to know how this works. So can you give me a call back? And so then I get an email an hour later from the publisher, and he CC'd everybody in the fucking company, and it completely berates me and shits on me and belittles me for having enough time to even take the time, and how they're a world-class newspaper. And I was just immediately responding with I bet you're a lot of fucking fun to work with.
Yeah, holy
let's break
shit.
this down. This is a dog and pony show. You do this fucking best of shit to get hit so you can justify your advertising all year. It would take you 3 seconds to put a best music blog in there. It would take you 3 seconds to acknowledge. And he was well, DC is not a music town. I'm well, you should probably check Condé Nast and the 8 venues that have
some of
opened
his
up in
own
the last
editors would-
no, I mean it was I owned him in an email in
Yeah.
front of his entire staff. I was since we're gonna play this game,
they're
let's
gone.
fucking play this game. Yes, and they're gone.
New
And they
guy.
seem to have like trimmed down their shit. But if they still have like a best place
That
to
was
buy
just,
fuzzy
like,
handcuffs,
one among
and they
many
don't
others.
have a best music blog, like how do you not have a best music blog or a best booking agency? You know how many booking agencies are in this town employing the artists in
That
this
would be
town?
fascinating,
Like fuck
actually.
your best jazz jam session. Like how many jazz jam session artists are there looking for that? Like show some love to like the booking agencies, like the people like putting artists on stage, like putting artists
Yeah.
like money
It's
in artists'
incredible.
pocket, like it's
Yeah.
and it's like we all know it's bullshit just to appease us. And instead of like appeasing, he like berated me publicly in front of his staff, and I was like, well, I know what it's like to work there, so good luck. So I'm glad to see that he's gone.
Yeah.
You know, I know that the editor does not, you know, define the entire staff by any means, but it definitely left a bad taste in my mouth. You know, I'm hopeful with the new editor and the new staff that like the good people are gonna stick around and stay, and that hopefully they'll like show a little bit more love to the people who have made DC. You know, who have given them something to write about. Because you know, it's like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, just it's not that difficult. You know what I mean? And they don't really.
No, it's easy.
It's super
really
easy.
easy.
And like show love to the people that built this city and like the native Washingtonians and the people who are here like when like it wasn't cool to be here or wasn't safe to be here. Like this is people's fucking homes, man. Like people
Yeah.
are from here. And so like just because it wasn't cool for somebody else, like
Right.
the whole shit is like mad insulting, really. You know what I mean? So it's like you're like, you know,
It
give
is
some love.
incredibly insulting.
It
Like,
is.
as my brow furrowed, like before it was cool to be here. I'm like,
Right.
when was it not?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool
Yeah,
to
cool
be-
to who?
Like
Yeah.
and under what context and like how fucking old are you? Like what is your world like? You know what I mean? Like who are you? Where did you come from? What is your world experience? But like nonetheless, like everyone wants to move here. All these businesses are here. Everybody wants to stand in front of the graffiti wall, but nobody wants to like pay the graffiti artist. Nobody wants to like
Yeah,
give the
yeah.
best music
Yeah.
blog section on the city paper. Like why? It's all fucking bullshit. It would take 2 seconds to go in your fucking code and type in that empty box. Like it's not that hard. You know what I mean? It's not that hard. And so like recognize that like the artists and the people in the creative community are what keeps the doors open. Every single business in this entire city needs artists. From the website to the logo to your business cards to your
Yeah.
interior designer to like your drink menu to your staff. You think they're all fucking working office jobs when they're not at your bar? Hell no. So like, you know, it's just time that the city needs to like, you know, stop funneling money to the same people and stop defining shit the way it is. So, you know, not saying you don't need fuzzy handcuffs, but like paying artists is way cooler than selling fuzzy handcuffs. So like maybe show a
You might be
little-
able to do both.
I mean, hey, I'm, you know, next week at Grindstone Universal, you might just find some fuzzy handcuffs, but
Yeah. No, two things about that. One is just over the years gaining so much appreciation for like how much initiative and time and effort has to go into like organizing and putting on these sorts of like arts events and things. Like it's incredible the amount of effort that goes into it, mainly by artists themselves, to make the stuff happen that everybody else gets to sort of like cash in on in terms of like cultural capital.
exactly.
The other thing, just riffing off the sort of native Washingtonian element, like, you know, when did it become cool? There was I realized I'm trying to like always think about conversations like what are the loops I didn't close, right? So earlier you asked about events, and one of the events we did was Local Press Club, which was this little panel with a couple of journalists who had written about DC over the last year. So we picked a couple of our favorite stories from 2017. One of them was by Ali Schweitzer at WAMU. And she actually did a whole story and like radio segment about this question of like this phrase that you hear. I don't know if I've ever actually heard somebody say this, but nobody's from here, right? Nobody's from here. What does that mean, right? And so she unpacked that and went and talked to some people about it, and it was a very, very good story. One that I was like, readers, I can't cram this down your throats, but like this is the one thing you got to read. You got to get this. So
Yeah, that was an awesome event. I mean, we had Ali Schweitzer, we had Tom D. Misra from City Lab.
she wrote about the Woodner.
Yeah, about the Woodner apartments off of 16th Street, like near Rock Creek Park. And I mean, one of the things for us, 730 relies on these journalists getting, paid to practice their craft and do the hard work of like digging up these stories so that we can feature them. And so when you're talking about events, like that's part of I think what we can do is shine more light on the people doing the hard work that allows people to like live these interesting cultured lives and talk about these news stories.
Yeah. Right.
When the papers that they're working for are being shut down or not getting the advertising revenue that they used to, and sort of have this existential question about their future.
Yeah, one of the stories was from DCist, which is no mas.
It was a story about the Columbia Heights soccer field that got taken over by Zog Sports.
Zogs, I actually had a hand in shutting that shit down.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
I'm very excited about that.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I saw what was happening, and, native Washingtonian on the move.
Yeah.
Once again, the verb that I like to use is Columbusing. When you discover that which is already there, something that is already in use by people who already live in this place that has been recently discovered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's unpack that word.
Oh, we found a field that nobody's using. These nobodies, since nobody lives in DC, and all the different things that unpacked with it. I was so happy to just take that down from the top.
So
make them shut their whole Zog DC page down.
Oh shit!
Shut
for
the
real?
page down.
Dang.
Shut the page down.
What?
Shut the page down.
What?
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Have some more wine. I love it.
But my name
That's
isn't
an amazing MC.
my name isn't nobody. I'm a
You
very
know?
real person, as are my parents, as are my grandparents, as are the many, many generations that have lived here in this nation's capital. Also, hello, it's called the nation's capital. So, like, really, you think that, like, you can just discover things in the nation's capital?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
one of the
nobody
first
was in the
cities in the
capital of
fucking-
America.
The one sort of meta thing I thought of the other day when I was looking at, I was thinking about statehood for whatever reason, and it was, oh shit, like District of Columbia. Like Columbia is sort of like, there's a lot of things named Columbia you sort of forget. It's Columbus. Like, we're sort of named for this guy, right? You were just talking about Columbusing.
Is it?
No.
No, I bet Jay knows the history of this.
Isn't Columbia
Yeah.
like referred
So-
to America?
No,
Well,
Columbia
Columbia,
is a
there-
Roman goddess.
yeah.
Do you know what the three stars stand for?
There are.
No.
Here we go. I thought it was sort of Polysemous, like it was both him and this other thing, but I don't know. I don't know.
You want to tell us?
I'm
So
about to
3
get
stars,
real
3
deep.
stars, 3
I wanna
stars,
know.
3 stars.
3 bars. DC is a federal district, which is very similar to a couple other places on this planet that have similar areas of their cities, one of which is London, the third of which is the Vatican. If you are a city of the District of Columbia, you are a city of one of these 3 royal places. Many people don't know their rights as citizens of this District of Columbia. They don't understand
Tell us, Jay.
why this place was chosen, how sacred this land is, where we lay, just in terms of the longitude and latitude of where we are. It's very amazing, very ancient knowledge that these places were chosen or discovered under which. So yeah, shout outs to the District of Columbia and all the royal residents.
Well, and even the history of D.C., with the first city in D.C. was in Anacostia, and it was a tent city because it was people seeking reparations from the war, and they traveled from all over the country up north and landed in D.C. and said, we're not fucking leaving until you give us our shit. And so, like, even just from the very basis of the first actual city, in Washington, D.C., is a true testament to, like, the heart of Washingtonians, you know what I mean?
Sounds like they were with it tactically.
100%,
start.
man. These are, I mean, you gotta understand, like, for the people that weren't brought here through slave trade, who the people that weren't forced to be here, a lot of people, Irish people, Norwegians, like, people from all over the world left their countries and everything that they knew. There was a 100% chance they would never speak to their family again. There was an 80% chance that they were going to die. But they were like, fuck that. There's something better. I'm out, And so that's like the core of the United States is people who are willing to leave. Like at one point, 70% of Norway came to the United States and they taught us logging in like the very early years. Like 70% of an entire country left and came here. So like the core of the United States is kind of like an arrogant piece of shit. Like, fuck my whole family and everything, I might die, but I'm gonna come, I know I deserve better anyway. So it kind of like, explains a whole lot about like the very foundation of this country. I mean, in a lot of ways. So especially people that were in this country and we're like, we're leaving everything we know again, and we're gonna go to DC and we're gonna get what's due to us. Those are some great qualities from around the world and some bad qualities from around the world. You know what I mean? So but it's certainly, it's not a new city. It's not a new home.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Not at all. It is Egypt on the Potomac.
I love that.
Whoa.
No,
I
like-
heard that. I like that.
Really?
Yeah, I never heard that before.
Oh, well, that's a literal fact. They actually took one of the ancient cities of Egypt and recreated it street by street. Word to
Luxor.
the placement of our monuments and things.
What?
Yeah.
Is that real?
Wait, I heard
That's
that
where
it
the-
was
I had no idea. Jay, educate me.
There's
That's
a
fucking
whole
amazing.
tour. Oh my gosh.
Shit.
Oh man, shout outs to what I had. I'm gonna Google it right quick. But Egypt on the Potomac is a walking tour or riding tour that you can take around to see all of the notes that were left by the Moors and whatnot, and rebuilding the political power city. The three cities that I mentioned. London is banking. That's the money. That's the royal banks. Vatican is the religion. DC is the political power. And that is how this paradigm marches on.
Interesting.
But,
I learned some years ago that the placement of the mall was inspired by Versailles in France. And the way Versailles is laid out is you have like the royal palace is like at the top of this huge like rectangular lawn, and then there's sort of an offshoot, and then that's where essentially like the legislative body would sit. And so it was like a conscious reversal of those things. And so the legislative body takes the seat of power that was the royal palace of Versailles, and then you put the executive branch sort of off to the side. So we're saying it is less important than
to
the
center
power
the
of people.
legislature. Right.
Anthony Browder is the name. Egypt on the Potomac is the name of the book. And it is also the walking tour that you can take here in DC.
I never wanted to take one
So
before.
much
until now.
ancient knowledge about this place. A lot of people don't know about the sunken river, about the fact that the Native Americans found these waters to be sacred. They made pilgrimages here from all over the nation to come here, and right by our reservoirs, which are the tops of the Tiber Creek that was drowned, because DC was a
Tiber
swamp.
Creek.
Nobody wanted to
Was
live
it
here.
15th, 16th Street?
It's all
Tiber
around.
Creek?
It's like
Okay.
throughout the city, secret tunnels, whole little secret
No,
underground
but
DC.
the river.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean it wasn't. 16th Street is significant, but not because of that creek, because of Lee lines, and it has more churches on that street than any other in the country. And
I
it's
heard
not
once that like
coincidental.
every religious organization has to have like a church in DC in order for it to be recognized.
Indeed,
Really?
Yeah.
indeed, and most of them,
Yeah.
all random.
Wow.
Time. I
Does
didn't
that mean
even know
there's like
there
a
was so many
Westboro
different churches.
Baptist?
I don't
Yeah.
know,
Or like
But
some sort of
it's-
an office, or like something that they
No,
could like.
I mean,
one-
like,
yeah.
Like an
like
embassy.
They
for-
have a P.O. box.
They have. Like, I didn't even know what Baha'i was until I was
Oh,
on
I've been to-
16th
Yeah.
Street. Like every religion, every aspect of
Uh-huh.
Protestant, or
I went to the Baha'i. I don't know what it's called.
But yeah,
Temple?
Big
by the
temple, yeah.
reservoirs, that's where all the hospitals in DC are. You have
Mhm.
McMillan
That's Howard.
Reservoir.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Howard. That's Providence. That's
Children's.
and what's it?
Washington
Washington
Hospital
Medical. You have the VA hospital. All
So
that.
much more about
National
On
it.
the
VA
other
hospital.
side, where you have MacArthur Reservoir, that's where you have GW,
Yeah.
Georgetown, and all of that.
The
So
Sibley's up there.
even now, we're still making a pilgrimage to the holy waters of DC.
That's
to
crazy. I need to
Get
learn more
our
about that. I
healing.
had no idea.
Yo, Black History.
What
Yep.
up?
Yep. You got a whole month.
Whole
Let's
month.
go.
Dot.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Shout outs to being in DC. Shout outs to it being a place where people have always pilgrimaged from all over the world to heal themselves, yo. Music is the healer. And I guess that's the full circle of making sure that if you're gonna represent the city, you gotta represent the culture, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Word.
Thank you, Jay. I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
And I feel like I know a lot about DC, and I had no idea about any of that. I want to go learn more. I've never
Learn so
wanted to
much.
take a walking tour in my entire life.
The walking
like,
tour will
5
blow
minutes
your
ago.
mind.
Yeah, I'm
will
hip.
Ollie's
blow
strictly
your
about the
walking tours.
segue.
Listen, man, those are fighting words right there. I'm kind of motherfucker. I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes I ride my bike next to segways. Like I'll stand up and ride by them on my bike, just to be a dick about it.
They're always 2 feet
man.
taller. I got into these walking tours. They're like self-guided tours. There's an app you can download, and it's like started in San Francisco. It's some startup, but they source like local oral histories of different cities, and so we've got 4 tours in DC. And the first one I did was about Go-Go and U Street. And so it started at like 15th and V and like took you down like U Street and Malcolm X Park and sort of around, and ended at the CD store at the Metro UPS on the corner of like 7th.
Yeah,
and, Florida.
Central Communications.
Metro
what
PCS.
up?
Yeah. So went in and
Shout-outs.
talked to E,
Yeah, Go-Go
the
corner.
gentleman who runs that store.
Shout out to Don.
Yeah. What up, E? What up, G?
And I learned a lot about proper utensils. Gave me a CD.
True.
I couldn't listen to it at home because I don't have a CD player. So I borrowed my friend's car because it's the only thing I could find with a CD player. It was worth it.
That's amazing.
But it's Detour. It's the app.
Oh, Detour. Yeah.
They're pretty good. And there's like stuff, there's like more conventional.
But they like
DC things,
locally
like
source
spies.
like already existing walking tours. They're not just like rewriting some shit.
No, it's like
No, it's not already existing. They like create the walking tour. They find a person, like a local point of contact who knows about something, and then that person kind of creates the walking tour. I'm not sure exactly how the process works, but so the
Right.
Go-Go one, it was mostly just interviews with people who had been or are currently in the go-go scene.
Yeah.
And like
I love that
were
where
in
you
bands.
just hand the mic to people.
Yeah. And so they would say like, okay, the tour sort of tells you like it's GPS and knows where you are. So it's like, okay, walk forward a block and to your right, and then somebody's voice comes into your head and talks about like what happened there.
Oh,
It's cool.
sort of augmented reality.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, but you can still see things.
Sometimes I talk about 730 as like augmented reality because it's like I'm sending you this like digital communication, and if it works right, then like when you're walking down the street and you pass a certain block, you'll think, oh, this is the place with the like Catania Bakery that has this long history or whatever, or you'll see a church and be like, oh, this is the church that has been in the fight about the bike lanes, and so it's like I would never. I'm sort of skeeved out by the whole like augmented reality thing. Literally, like I don't want everybody to be walking around with like contacts that like project individualized like advertisements. Like it's a George Saunders, short story.
Whoa.
But
George Orwell.
yeah, yeah, no, right.
Wait, who's George Saunders?
He's a short story writer.
Oh.
Yeah, he does have a story about a world where you're not allowed to walk down the street unless you earn like citizen points by watching advertisements that are like hyper geared towards you. It's extremely disturbing.
It's really,
But also he's a great writer.
my friend always jokes. Well, she's not joking. She's serious. But she's like, as soon as they can figure out how to charge us for air, we're all gonna be like.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's true. I mean, they already took our water.
yeah, the crazy the whole, have you followed the whole stormwater story?
No, I quit social media on January 1st,
okay.
so I'm not.
No, it was
I'm like very proud of that.
Yeah,
because
no, I'm
Yeah.
on the wagon.
DC
it
water.
feels good. I'm not aware of everything
yeah,
going
no,
on,
no,
but I want
no.
to know. I just don't want to know 24 hours a day.
Yeah. So
But tell me no.
you only need to know at 7:30 a.m.
Right now,
That's
you know
right.
what?
Yeah,
But you know what though?
hey.
I actually signed up for your thing twice, and I've never gotten any.
You never got it?
Yeah.
It might go to your spam folder.
No, I
unfortunately.
checked.
Oh.
Okay. We can
We'll
fix
work on
it.
this.
I don't know what's going on. I
We'll
hope I'm not
fix this.
missing other. You want some more wine, Jamie?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah,
Are we
we
gonna
got-
go get
yeah, you
sushi
gotta
after
finish
this? I
this.
hope we are.
I literally just for now I was like, I'm not supposed to be texting right now. No, sushi. Okay, and I'm back looking at the video. Shout out to everybody that's watching us online. Shout out to everybody.
Yeah,
watching
internet's
us
not all
online, man.
bad.
Chat it up.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for coming tonight, man. This is fun. You
Yeah.
know?
It's really fun.
Thanks
It's
for
cool
having
to
us.
get to know more about 730 DC for sure. Hopefully we can, contribute some more. You know what I mean? I see you have a pretty diverse staff on your website from when I briefly scrolled through. So it's nice to know that you guys are. I feel like I always say those who have a voice should use it, right? So if you're reaching the people that need to hear better messaging, then that's great. As long as you're getting the better messaging, I guess, right?
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Word. J Mills, would you like to snap it into a metaphysical moment?
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes. My metaphysical moment is dedicated to the mouth, as I said it would be before. Shout outs to One Love Massive being a place where, I never premeditate these messages.
That's the best thing about it.
It's always motivated by the vibration that I experienced here. So with that, thinking about what I meant with the mouth, I joke around about it a lot. For those who don't know me, just seeing me joke, I joke around about sexuality and things like that because, one, I feel that life is divine. And the most divine thing that you can do in making life is actually having sex. And a lot of what's wrong with the planet right now is the fact that the very act of making a human is seen as wrong. This country was actually founded by Puritans. People who thought that they needed to be more strict. Like Europe was too loose. It was doing too much. And so every other austere religion came and formed this country in the beginning. It's always been people who wanted to enforce their rules. But this message in terms of the power of your mouth, the power of your words. Your words have so much power, so much power. It is the life of your thoughts. And this current paradigm that is fundamentally flawed in looking and appreciating that which brought you here, which then means that the people who brought you here, they're flawed too. I'm talking about women. Also, well, that means that the people who they bring here are flawed. I'm talking about babies, and how we can have a whole society that says that children don't deserve to be fed, people don't deserve to have health care, humans don't deserve to live because they never respected the act of making you in the first place. But what is a word? What does that mean? These words that I'm saying right now, these thoughts that seem so, we all had to be born. You can't be a human without being a baby. You can't be a baby without coming from a woman, but our words don't have the weight that they used to because we don't have the meaning that we used to have because we don't say what we mean anymore. We've been taught to lie about everything, to lie about how you feel, to lie about how somebody looks, to lie about how you think, to lie about what you want to do, lie about who you want to be, lie about whatever it takes, and never be true to yourself. Never be true to what you think because that would be selfish. And so we lose our power that we have in our words and we lose the ability to express ourselves. Shout outs to art and the artists. For those that make something when words are not enough, you got to make them rhyme. Words aren't enough, so you got to paint a picture. Words aren't enough, so you had to make a song. You had to do a dance. You had to do that extra thing to express yourself because I always bring it back to us being human beings, not human is or human ares, human words, humans could have been. We are being, and the act of being is personal. Word to Hamlet. I think, therefore I am. Just like that. And before you can say a word, it was a thought. And the magic that happens in your mind between what you were thinking and expressing that in such a way that another human being can understand, it is amazing. So how do you protect your magic? How do you get that magic back? The magic of the vibrations of your words, the magic of the power of your thoughts. Well, there's power in the written word. That's one. I encourage you to write. Before it even can leave your mouth, let it come through your hand and write those thoughts. Write your dreams, because it's the realest thing here. It's the realest thing on earth is you and your thoughts, period. That is all that is. Everything else is an opinion. from somebody else in their perspective. The only thing real is you. And what are you doing with your magic? Writing down your words. And no matter how hard it is, be honest. No more little white lies. If it's really you 30 minutes away, you 30 minutes away. You ain't left your house yet, you ain't left your house yet. You don't like the food, you don't like the food. They look fat, they look fat. It is what it is.
You sound like a boy. You sound like a boy.
Yeah, word. Like me and Molly had this moment I've been learning with my son in how you have to teach a child to lie. They just look and they see and they say. And you have to teach them, no, you can't say that. You can't see that. You know, my son will like see someone and it's not like he's judging them and he's just like, oh, they have a big belly. You know, it's a fact. They knew they had the big belly when they left their house, but we're not supposed to say these things. We've been so detached from the power of our thoughts in that still small voice. So for everybody that's always right in retrospect, everybody that always knew that was going to happen, I knew that was going to, I wish I said, you already know who you are. You already know the power of your magic, and you just got to focus that potential by believing in yourself. Believe in your mouth. And vote for Jay Mills, yo. That's my metaphysical moment. Yo, I'm so used to Nikki coming afterwards.
You know,
Shout out to Nikki.
I know, Miss Nikki. Well, thank you for both being here. We love it when Jay Mills ends with the message. See, you know,
that was beautiful.
You didn't see that coming,
so
did you?
No.
She, she does this every time.
He didn't see it coming.
Bam.
See, remember what I said earlier?
We're gonna end it on that note, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. We'll see you at the Hamilton for late night sushi.
Yep. MNM Show.
What?